So you want to build that your dream home that you've always been thinking and planning to build. But basically, some of the most important questions you're asking yourself is that, how do I go about it? Where do I start from? What are some of the things that I need to know? What are some of the most important things that I shouldn't skip? Hello everyone, this is Michael Doc Simon and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. I run a real estate agency and a construction company right here in Ghana. If this is your first time seeing my video, just kindly click on the red subscribe button and be a part of this wonderful family. I know that building a house that you intend to reside in is a very monumental part or time in everyone's life, because finally your hard-earned money that you've worked for years is finally going to be put in building a very beautiful dream house that you're going to reside in. And that is why it is very, very critical and important that you get involved throughout the whole process, okay? Otherwise, you're just going to leave to chance or leave to reach some of the architect or contractors making some very vital, important decisions for you that might, cost you. So now let's go straight to some of the things that you really need to know. So one of the things is set your numbers or set your figures. This particular part can't really be overemphasized enough, because if you intend to build a house, and of course you have the finances to build, unless perhaps you want to, or maybe you're planning on getting a bank to pre-finance the whole construction process. But of course there are some banks that give a mortgage to even construct. There are some number of banks that we're working with here in Ghana, for example, that have a home construction mortgage. So what they do is that they give you money to build, but of course there are some processes and things that are outlined that you really need to understand and look into and see if it's something that favors you, and then you can go ahead. And I'm sure this is also in other countries as well. All right. Number 2, have a schedule as a guide. Home construction is one of those things that we know that it can't really follow a tight schedule because bad weathers, rainfall, materials not coming on site are some of the inevitable things that happen throughout the whole process. But if you have a very good architect and a good contractor, you should be able to have a loose schedule to keep you in check and to keep the time and the project moving in according to whatever schedule that he has. And that is if all the funds to construct is ready, because some people don't have all the funds straight up, so they just want to build bit by bit. But that's a different scenario altogether. But this particular one is if all the funds are ready, you should be able to have a time frame that you follow. A schedule that you follow. Just like I said, apart from maybe you want to take like a year or 2 or 3 years to build, that's a time frame though. But in between, funds delay and all those things. But so these are some of the things that you also need to consider. You have to check that as well. How long is it going to take you to finish? Do that kind of schedule, so you also make sure that you are doing the right thing. Number 3, you need to consider your lifestyle in the design process of your dream home. Say for instance you are an athlete, or maybe somebody who loves fitness. Of course you should have set aside a room where you can turn it into a gym or a place to have your keep fit and all that. And maybe perhaps if you're somebody that loves movies just like me, you wanna have a theater room where you can sit down with families and something to watch a movie. Or maybe if you're a sports person, you should have an allotted space within your own dream house where you can watch match or you can play game without it necessarily disturbing the overall peace of the whole entire house. Some wives don't even like watching football. So when the men are watching football, they're like, damn, you just put it back to my channel. Anyway, that's just by the way. Number 4, have your future in mind. A critical example is maybe you are a couple planning to establish a home where you're going to raise your family. Obviously, you want to have a house designed in a family-oriented way where you can actually bring up your children, quite spacious and all of those things. And that is why it's also very, very important that you are confident in communicating with the hired professionals that are going to build your home, because it is very key that they should be able to connect with your plans, your goal, and know how much your future influences the overall project that they have at hand. So it's very important that you have your future in mind as well. Number 5, have enough storage. Your home is going to be a place where you're going to have or keep all your personal belongings and some other things. So you really have to consider creating more and more storage in terms of cabinet space and all of those things, so you can put your personal belongings without it necessarily obstructing the overall beauty of the entire space. So you really have to consider storage in mind when you are building. Number 6, think green. This is where a lot of people don't actually consider. You really have to build something that would be able to conserve energy. If the general electricity goes off, would you have proper ventilation? Would you have proper air coming in and all that? So you don't have to turn on the ACs, eating more into your energy, increasing your bills, your light bills and all that. So you have to think green in terms of planting ornamental trees just around the house, and also having your window fixtures as wide open enough to have airflow come in, and also have proper ventilation in terms of just like I said, the airflow and the lights that comes in and all that. All these things are very, very important because it saves you a lot of energy costs and reduces your bill. So it's not necessarily all the time that you just have to put on the lights and put on the AC if just to chill yourself. You can easily open up the windows and have a lot of air come in without necessarily putting on the AC and putting on the fan. The AC consumes a lot of light, a lot. That's why a lot of time when you're trying to do solar, you just have to do a special installation because the AC alone consumes a lot of kilowatts. So imagine having AC in all the rooms and you have to, and you don't think about the green. You just have to on all the ACs, and that's a lot of figures of a lot of figures on bills that you're going to have to pay. So think green, think green. Number 7, and this is the most ignored part, so I just want to throw more light on it. When you are building, build with the intention and the mind to resell. Okay, I know as much as you're trying to make this particular house your home, it's probably not going to be the last home that you're going to have. You might have to build another home and sell this. Now it makes that home a potential property in the real estate market. So you really have to think about, would you be able to resell it after I just want to move out, or maybe build another one? So you see that it becomes a potential in the real estate space. So when you're building, think about all these things. Is it going to be spacious enough for the person who's going to buy it? Does it have enough storage? Is it properly ventilated? Just look at those things, and factor it in when you are building your dream home, because it's probably won't be the last home you're going to have. You're going to be building couples of homes that you're going to stay. Maybe you build in this area and then you want to relocate and you're building another area. It becomes a potential in the market. So always think about resell when you're building your home. Yeah, maybe I'm going to be the one to come buy it. Point number 8, always allow your contractors to finish building before you move in. There are some basic rooms that can actually be finished, and then people just quickly move in areas like the bedrooms and all that, and then you move in. What that does is that there are some little gritties that need to be done. When you move in, it takes years before those things are done, and it's better to have the whole house completed and then you move in later. Instead of moving in and then something goes wrong and then you're calling the contractor back to come and refix it, and that's going to cost you more money. So always move in when the house is fully completed. Point number 9, research on the contractors and the architects that you're going to hire. Check about their history, see if they are trustworthy, see if they are truthful, because these are the people that can either make your project work or make your project or break your project. You understand? So you really have to do enough research in the contractors and the architect that you're going to hire to do your project. It is very, very, very important. Okay, so make sure that you get it right from the onset so it doesn't cost you a lot. Thank you so much. I do hope this video has been so helpful. I hope this video has been able to inspire and give you enough insight on some of the things to consider when building that your beautiful dream home. I can imagine the home that you're thinking of building. Damn, but it's not going to be nicer than mine, you know. All right, so thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. I appreciate your love and I appreciate your support. Kindly click on the red subscribe button and be a part of this wonderful real estate family. I love you all. This channel is what it is today because of you, the subscribers, and you, our cherished viewers. So do make sure to be a part of this wonderful family. I love you all. Stay blessed and have a wonderful, wonderful day.